Something about Beast Wars CYBERSHARK I have just always liked. Something about his blues. I love blue, obviously. I mean, have you seen my wall? He actually, now that I'm looking at him, he kind of blends with the entire like blue and white motif. I love sharks, man. Sharks are cool. Hammerhead sharks are also very cool. And this is a Transformer Shark Man. And I couldn't say no when I saw the reissue at Walmart. I never got the vintage one. It was one I had my eyes on. But vintage Beast Wars stuff is hard to find. With all the ball joints they use, limbs are always missing, and you know, the fact that the weapons are like actual body parts. If I would find the vintage one, for all I know, he's missing his face. And you'll see why that's a possibility with this figure. But a reissue for like 24, 25 bucks, something like that, yeah, I'll take it. It's a little expensive, but yeah, I'll take it. I think the quality on this is amazing. If the vintage one is anything like this, it feels great. It looks great. I think Hasbro, I'm going to assume they did a good job replicating the original figure because this is a very nice quality item. I know some of the reissues have had differences from the actual vintage one, which some of them are kind of problems to me, like the fact that Megatron's helmet isn't even painted silver. Ew. But for this, I think it's pretty faithful. But for all I know, there is actually things that are not consistent with the vintage figure. That's not what I'm going over in this video. I'm just talking about the toy as it is here, and I love it, even though it is so quirky. It is such a 1990s Transformer, but that's why I love it. So, CYBERSHARK. He is a shark that is cyber. So he has cybernetic stuff. Unfortunately, one thing about mine is that he just doesn't... There's no clip, actually, that connects those halves together, so it's just always kind of splitting a little bit. One cyber thing you can see, he's got cyber teeth. They're all silvery, which is a little subtle nod to how cybernetic he is. But in the shark mode, you can already see a little bit of the cyberiness. If you hit this button back here, he has a pincer claw thing that's silver, so it's cybernetic. And yeah, that looks like a lobster claw, which is kind of funny. Yeah, we'll just keep that there. I feel like the actual likeness to the animal is pretty nice. I love the different shades of blue. I think it's so cool, and I think the transition from the blue to the white's done pretty well. I can tell that the paint's actually a little rough. Like, the texture's rough. So that's interesting, but I feel like they did a good job transitioning that. You know, you can kind of tell it's fading from blue to white. Underneath, you can see a little bit of robot stuff going on, but then again, a couple of the actual robot details do contribute to the shark mode. It gives them a couple extra fins on the bottom there. The articulation in the shark mode is just ball joints at the flippers, which are other things that would probably get lost on a vintage copy. But one interesting thing is his face is removable. There is a hypothetical missile launching feature where you would hit this button that hardly even works. Didn't really work at all out of the box. You would hit that, there we go, you like pull it back all the way and then it sort of launches it. The spring is super weak. Like, that's seriously, here, let's not have my hand stop it. That's it. It basically just, you know, flops out. And you're left with a cybernetic shark face, which is odd. It's odd. And this will become either a part of the torso if you want, or a weapon in robot mode. This is a weird one. It's Beast Wars, man. What do you expect? Yeah, I love like I said, I love the two-tone blue. I think that just looks so cool to me. It's nice. It's a nice one. I like it. It's a shark. It's a sharky boy. Let's make him a sharky robot boy. So this is the cardinal sin of Beast Wars. You have to take off huge chunks of the alternate mode that become weapons in the robot mode. Normally, I'm not a big parts forming hater, right? But it bothers me when a piece that's like important to an alternate form is a losable accessory. I don't like that. I'm sure many kids lost this, and this was their shark. For all I know, this was their CYBERSHARK. You know, take the fins away, too. That was their CYBERSHARK. It's a shame. It's a shame that, you know, that's how they have done this. We'll keep that off for now as well. Alright, so basically, we'll just crack him open like a shell here, because he's basically a shell former. And we'll flip this up, and then we'll get the arms kind of straightened. And then we'll flip this whole assembly down. And guess what? You're done. Flip those feet down. There's his robot mode. He's CyberShark. He's CyberSharking. That's him. There he is. He's done. So, what you see when you unfold him, you do unveil this off-white color, which I think looks pretty nice. And you unveil his really cool head sculpt. I think his head sculpt is absolutely awesome, and I love it. I love the big old teeth. I love the, again, the two-tone blue, but it does have gray on the side of the head, too, which is nice. Man, that's actually a nice little illusion. It almost looks silver in certain lighting, that fin. Oh, man, I love the tampo. It's actually tampo for the mouth in there. Looks very clean. The red eyes. Would you believe this is a Maximal and not a Predacon? He screams Predacon, but he is a Maximal. So that's a thing. Yeah, other things he has going on in his robot mode. Obviously, he's got the whole shell of the shark on his back. But it does leave him with these really cool fins. And it also leaves him with this really cool silhouette. That just looks cool, man. He's got like these big old wings sticking off of him. He does have a couple missiles, which you can kind of just get out. They're basically stored in this mode. He's got 2 on either side, so more things to lose. You can move that same missile launcher for the head up and basically make him look like a Sharky warpath. And you'll push that back again, and it actually shoots out a little nicer now that it's a proper missile instead of a giant shark head. But it's still kind of weak. The spring's not too powerful. I do believe, like many missiles in this line, you can just have him hold it like a club. But that's not really that special. I'm sure most people will just leave that in his back for the rest of his life. But you can put that shark head back on, and you can also have it as a missile in the robot mode, or you can just keep it on entirely, and you give him a weird skirt. It just makes him look so bad. I hate to say it. He just looks so bad if you leave the shark head on. I don't like leaving the shark head on. It takes away so much of his cool, unique shape. If you take this off, then you're just left with this really nice silhouette and this really nice shaping, and the silver just kind of emphasizes the CyberShark. You can see there are some cybernetic details inside of the shark halves, and it is red, almost looking like you literally cut the shark in half. But it's cool. I like it. Let's go over his articulation, because like I mentioned earlier, Beast Wars figures were ball joint city. So he's got a ball joint at the head, ball joint at the shoulder, swivel at the elbow, or swivel at the bicep actually. Very nice double jointed bend at the elbow there. Nothing at the wrist, nothing really at the waist. Ball joints at the hips, swivels at the thighs. Very nice, decent bends at the knee there. And the ankles are on hinges that move mostly just down. But yeah, he's got some decent articulation. You can get some cool poses out of him. So, you're left with this junk. What are we going to do about this junk? Can we put it back on the robot and make it look good? Not really. Basically, they just have to become weapons. But I actually have a particular configuration I really like for these. So this one, like I said, the missiles can become handheld items. I like this kind of serving as a shield. I think that looks kind of cool as a shield. And you can have this. You can just have them hold it, and you deploy the claw. You can just have him hold it upright like this, and sure, that looks cool, but it just looks so busy having both of his hands occupied with these massive weapons. What I do, I actually have this as like a shield piece. So that's the defense, and then we got some offense beneath. So he's got a big old shield, and he's got a claw. So like he can block your attacks, but then he can claw at you. And one nice thing, if you move that, then it just becomes a really cool looking like shield staff. I really like that. And it brings in that really nice two-tone blue again. You can also flip that back in if you want. Like you can have it like this, and then you can like redeploy it. I just think it's really cool. Obviously his ball joints do struggle to support all of this weight, but especially if you have it as like the shield staff, I think that looks really cool. It kind of gives him this almost Atlantean feel, which, I mean, given that he is a shark robot man, I kind of dig. And I feel like the shaping of both the shark head and the shark tail kind of adds to just the whole motif of like, yeah, he is a shark man. overall, this guy's just so cool. He's just so cool. Honestly, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite Beast Wars figures. It's just so nice. I love going back and having some of the vintage Beast Wars figures, because as awesome as the Kingdom stuff is, and as much as I want my main Beast Wars showcast to be the newer Kingdom and Legacy style, some of these characters that were just like nobodies, that were just in the toy line, I love having the original toy versions rather than like an updated version. Now, if they do make a new CyberShark, would I buy it? Yeah, I would. But I would keep this one, because consider me a CyberShark fanatic. Now granted, yeah, it is a Beast Wars figure, so, you know, very shelly, very, you know, ball jointy. Very kibbly, very, you know, using big old chunks of the animal as weapon parts-y. But what you're left with is just a cool-looking character. I mean, come on, at the end of the day, these are toys. We're not trying to have this guy look like a super awesome professional, like, very, you know, sensible and accurate character. This is a shark toy that turns into a giant robot with big gnashing teeth and a big old lobster claw that somehow was formed from the shark tail. This is ridiculous, and I love it. That's why I love it. Alrighty, guys. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons of Patreon. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Alrighty, guys. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.